Hello, everyone. So, I just wanted to pop on today with Christina Mars because, as you know, I talk about Kabbalah a lot. I love the system, I love the study. It's done so much for me in my life, and also so many people that I love and that I work with. That I thought it would be really great if we jumped in and had a little conversation where you could hear from the teacher herself a little bit about the tree of life, Kabbalah, what it's all about, and how it could potentially help you in life. So, I'd like to introduce Christina Mars. She's an international instructor. She's head of communications at the Modern Mystery School, and she is arguably my favorite Kabbalah teacher.
Thank you. Well, then, should I say you're arguably my favorite Kabbalah student
For now.
for now? Thank you for inviting me to have this conversation with you. I think it's always so beneficial to have conversations about Kabbalah and express through conversation because Kabbalah is actually an art and an experience. The way we study Kabbalah is through studying life and through studying concepts. And the way we truly embrace and learn about those things is by talking about them. One of the key ways we learn about the Kabbalah is by asking questions. And that's just a natural conversation point is asking questions, point of interest. Why is Kabbalah beneficial? Why this? Why that? Why does this happen this way? Why does the tree of life look like this? Why does the energy flow in a certain way? This is this is the Kabbalah. So having a conversation with a dear sister like yourself, I'm happy to do. Having lots of conversations about Kabbalah lately, both online, offline, in person. We have a couple in-person introductions coming up as
Yes.
well. So hopefully this conversation tonight here helps, any of you who are considering learning more about the Kabbalah make a decision to if you want to study or not.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love how you kind of introed it as like it's Kabbalah is a living, breathing thing. And that's why it's such a fascinating thing because something super unique about the mystery school is yes, it's a study, but this is just about life. And um I love living like giving people the opportunity to live their purpose, live life to the fullest, understand what they're capable of. Because for sure, in the world today, people are stretched, they're stretched thin, they're overwhelmed. There's, having a lot of conversations around the chaos and the overwhelm and the burnout and the lots of things on their plates. And one of the things I often think of for Kabbalah is how it can help someone expand their capacity.
Mhm.
And I think that more than ever now, that's an important thing. It's like the ability to like, okay, if you have a full plate, is it about maybe taking things off or is it maybe about learning how to create a bigger plate and organizing it maybe a little differently?
Mhm.
So I was wondering if you could speak to that a little bit. Like, how does the expansion in Kabbalah work, the ability to handle more, more clearly in the capacity piece work?
That's a great question because that is such a huge key to Kabbalah, and one of the things that sold me on Kabbalah to begin with was how much I expanded personally on so many levels, physically, professionally, emotionally, how much I healed, how much I was able to create and produce during the first year that I studied Kabbalah, through the Ascension program that we have in the Mystery School when I was a student. And this was almost 20 years ago, the first time I started studying Kabbalah, and I was mind blown at what I was able to create, what was able to come from me during that time. And why is that? Why does Kabbalah help people do that? Well, we have to start off with a few different understandings. One is that we are multidimensional beings, right? We are not just this physical. We know that we are physical and we know that we are spiritual. We know that we have a physical body and a spiritual body. That's kind of basic, right? We know those two things. In between, there's a lot more. We are not just 2D, we're not 3D. We are multidimensional beings. There are so many aspects and facets to ourselves If you imagine God, if you imagine who God is, what God is so many dimensions, so many layers, so many facets, so many faces. There are so many faces of God, so many ways to interpret, experience the divine. We are children of God. We are gods ourselves. We are gods in training ourselves. So therefore, we are equally as multidimensional, equally as multifaceted as the God above that we may picture for ourselves. So number one, Kabbalah will help us explore who we are as God and explore all those dimensions, all those sides of ourselves that we can embody, that we can flow through, we can work with. Um, that's number one. We are multidimensional beings. That is one of the things we have to accept. We're spirit and flesh and everything in between, and that is that we're multidimensional. The other thing that we have to accept when we're approaching this is that we are those things. We have a mind, right? We have a brain, which is like the radio, and the receiver, and the frequency is the mind, and we tune in. Our brain tunes into the frequency that our minds, unfortunately, have been clouded, and that frequency has been interfered with by what? By patterns, programs, life, our upbringing, our schooling, our religious dogmas, societal dogmas, political dogmas. All of that noise affects how we think. Not just how we think, but how we operate and behave in life. And so much of how we operate in life is unconscious, is not truly in alignment with what we want. And I think so many people out there um, can agree to this and feel this, because we hear it all the time. You're hearing, your clients too feel, you're saying like feeling overwhelmed, feeling like there's so much going on, so much to navigate through. Um, so how do we know what we truly want? How do we know what we truly want? Well, for one, we have to take a look at these layers and get rid of what we don't want, and get rid of the things that's like, wait a minute, I'm not sure I want to think that way. I'm not sure I actually believe that, but somewhere along the line, I picked up that belief, and um, I don't know, I want to hold on to it anymore. And if you're starting to have these kinds of feelings, these kinds of sensations, these kinds of thoughts, you're probably in your spiritual journey anyways. You're already having these kinds of things happen, right? And usually that's one of the things that will lead you to a catalyst to stepping on your spiritual path, whether you've stepped onto the path of initiation or you've started doing healings or whatever it is. You're like, something, I need to shift something. I need to shift something. I'm not, you know, things aren't sitting right the way they used to. And I know something needs to change within me. And I know there's more, there's something beyond. So the Kabbalah helps us to uncover uncover what else there may be. But we have to, just like anything, we have to dig the dirt. We have to dig through some stuff. We have to, look at what's been buried, what seeds have been planted that um, maybe we didn't intend to have grow it to begin with. So we have to do some weeding
I
out.
often I often think of this concept of so many of us want to expand and create things, but the piece of Kabbalah that feels so important is this clearing and organizing and digging, because wanting and desiring it isn't enough when we have all these filters and layers that are like, it's kind of like water going through dirt. Like clear water comes through dirt and then it ends up as mud, and like that water to return to like purity, what does that look like? Like that's kind of the visual I get. And I truthfully haven't found a system that works like this. Like the light comes in after initiation and it illuminates, but Kabbalah is so much more than that. It's the cleaning out, but in the cleaning out, we can actually get clarity. And with that clarity, we can actually create and create with clarity and create with alignment and create with foundations that I would say are a lot more eternal.
Mhm.
So that's something you see in the, like, that's something I think a lot of people want is like they end up in their life and it's good, but so much of it has been built off of these beliefs that they might not have examined, or these things that they thought they were supposed to be or supposed to do. And then they go through this awakening, they start opening up and start saying, okay, like there's definitely more.
Mhm.
It's really easy to just try and start creating again and then building another life that still doesn't serve if you don't do this work.
Yep.
So, did this deep internal work. So, I was kind of like wondering if you could speak to how Kabbalah helps with the manifestation process. Like, okay, it helps you expand, it helps you clear out. Um, but one of the big pieces is, and what I love about it is, it's a blueprint for creation
Yep.
and creation with clarity.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, is there,
No,
okay.
that's exactly it. That's what I was going to get into is the blueprint. It's the blueprint for creation, and it's the blueprint for clarity, it's the blueprint for healing, it's the blueprint for life. That's what Kabbalah is. So we could talk about it in general terms of Kabbalah is studying these esoteric concepts and yet, sure, there's lots of systems. There's Hermeticism, there's occultism, there's mysticism, there's so many types of healings that and trainings and ways that absolutely help us to awaken divinity, awaken that sense of peace and spirituality. There's no doubt about that. What is different about Kabbalah? Kabbalah,
Mm,
we work with something called the tree of life. The tree of life. You've seen this symbol. It's the symbol of lines and circles. You've seen the circles empty, you've seen them colored in, you've seen them in different capacities, you've seen them overlaid with the flower of life and different sacred geometries. This glyph, this geometric symbol that we call the tree of life, contains within it the blueprint. This is the blueprint. And that may seem ridiculous and magical. It's like, what does this image of sticks and circles have to do with the divine blueprint of creation? Well, this is what we unfold. This is what we unpack with the Kabbalah. Contained within the tree of life is the blueprint for our creation, and simultaneously, the blueprint for all creation, the method with which we can create with, and also it is our key and our um, roadmap to return back to God, to return back to our divinity. And it is returning back because we were we come from the divine, we are divine, and we come down to this physical density. We were manifested in this physical density through the blueprint of the tree of life. We came down and we got amnesia and we forgot how special we are. And we have to remember. And God didn't you know, get us down here, get us into the physical without giving us the clues and keys and gateway, opportunities to find our way back home. And the Kabbalah, the tree of life, is one of those gateways to find our way back home. It's one of the secret keys to unlock to find our way back home. And so the method through which we study the Kabbalah is by retracing our steps, retracing the pattern of creation back upward. So we're learning simultaneously as we ascend upward, we are learning that pattern of creation, of how we were created, how light descends to density. And what we do as we are climbing our way back up that tree of life to the higher densities, we're letting go and peeling back the things that hold us back, that hold us back from being able to create and manifest fully, purely, and do so in a way with clarity and manifest the things and manifest the life that we truly want.
Yeah, it's so amazing. what I love is it really is like a key. And I love that there's a process of climbing and also bringing down. It's like as we're peeling away, we're simultaneously creating.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes it's so easy to get lost in a process or a spiritual process that we're not like anchored in action in life.
Mhm.
And there's something so particularly amazing about being in like a deep healing and revealing process while also simultaneously building a ton of beauty and amazing things in life.
Mhm.
And I think that like our purpose is divine and our lives are divine. And like the more we can trace back to that connection, I mean, it's just life changing. So, so good.
Mhm.
Um, is there something you wanted to say? Sorry.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, to the point about our, the tree, it works with us, it works with our minds where we are at. Wherever you're at in your life, whatever you are hoping to accomplish, the things you want to heal, the tree works with you because the tree, I'm going to get much more into this in the introductions, but the tree is within you. The tree is within your auric structure. The tree is within your mind. The tree is it's a metaphoric symbol as well as a literal structure. It's not just something outside of ourselves. I say all the time, everybody knows what chakras are, and so you learned about chakras probably through yoga. It's really popular, mainstream. You know what chakras are, right? Well, you accept, okay, I have chakras. I have these seven colorful things in my structure, in my auric structure. Great. So your chakras existed in your aura before you knew they existed. They were always there. Well, I'm going to tell you all a secret. You have a tree of life in your aura. Not just a chakra system, you also have a tree of life system. And that system exists whether you knew it or not. And it's there and it's operational. And what we learn, what we teach through the modern mystery school, through the Kabbalah that we have is we teach how to optimize that structure, how to optimize our minds, how to optimize our manifestation ability, how to optimize also our emotional states. Um,
Mm,
Kabbalah will, by virtue of the study and exploration of these dimensional frequencies, let's call them that. You, by the virtue of simply in engaging in them, studying them, you will heal emotions. Emotions will come to the surface. Attachments will reveal themselves. The masks, the labels, the things that we've allowed, that we've put between ourselves and our true self, the things that we've put between us and God, um, by drawing light to these different aspects of the tree of life, it's going to draw light to different aspects of ourselves. And this is why I'm doing a couple introductions, uh, one next week in June, one in July. I'm talking specifically about how the Kabbalah, how the tree of life helps to organize our minds. So how to get our minds, our thoughts clear, functional, optimized. Not just optimized to be productive, but optimized for your own peace, for
mm,
your own sense of joy and clarity in life. No one wants to be bogged down by overthinking. Why are you overthinking? And whose voice is it that is yapping in your head all day long? It's not yours and it doesn't need to be there. And the Kabbalah can help us with organizing our mind, clearing up our thoughts. And simultaneously, it's also going to help us with our emotional state, our moods, because thought and emotion, for those of you that have done the Empower Thyself, you know the connection between thoughts and emotions, you know that cycle of human processes, that, those emotions, those especially the lower vibrational emotions that really drag us down, the anger, the sadness, the fear, the worry, the stress, all those lower states that keep us, you know, drained and low. Why? Emotions, if they're just communications from the soul, why are emotions dragging us down? Well, it has to do with our thoughts. It has to do with the fact that the thoughts that we attach to our emotions, this interplay. of thought and emotion keep us in this spiral of, this literally people spiral with their thoughts and emotions, but also keep us in a downward spiral of, you know, dragging us down. Um, think of how tired that makes a person. Think of how much that
Yeah,
drains a person,
exhausting.
right? And one
Mhm.
thing I know that we both love about the Kabbalah is that when we clear up those emotional things and we clear up our thoughts and our emotions, we have so much more energy. We have so
Yeah,
much more excitement, passion, joy, creative force that we can apply to the things we want. And then we get clear on the things we want. And then there's even more clarity, even more passion, even more joy. And we're just flowing in the right direction.
yeah. It really allows us to live life like wildly alive,
Mhm.
alive and open. And you can just like imagine, you can see it. If I wasn't holding the weight of all this stuff, the weight of all my thoughts, if I wasn't holding the weight of the world that I've accrued through life, what's possible? Like joy is possible. Like it's just a state of being. And it really is like one of the most special things. And it's why I love to share it. I mean, this is why I love this path, and this is why I love this work, is like there's nothing else like it. And it constantly makes what you think is impossible possible. And like one of those biggest things is the state of the self.
Yeah.
Like I think in this day and age, there's more potential and more distraction than there's ever been. And there's so much room for us to bring good in. So um, yeah, I really, really appreciate the time that you gave today to kind of just lay everything out, Christina. I'm always big about finding systems and things that work. Like I want to figure out how to take care of my physical body in an optimal way so I feel best. And like Kabbalah is the system that I found that it just works for everything, like mind, body, soul, spirit, emotions, thoughts. Like it is the system to get spiritually healthy. And I just want to share it with anyone who is interested and anyone who is open. So I really do appreciate the time that you gave
Oh,
us today.
my pleasure. Absolutely. And I know that here I just want to add that, here in the mystery school, we do study the Kabbalah, and it's for initiates. It's for initiates because the path of initiation as a whole, there's so many foundational and just, important, really important keys and aspects of what that initiation does for you. And it really is the key to open up the gateway to more and to deeper study. And yeah, you could read, you can learn about Kabbalah through books, you can learn about Kabbalah through other kind of public workshops and seminars. It's true, but the method with which we study it in the mystery school is we do a deep dive into the knowledge, but not only the knowledge, also the magic, also the energy, also the divinity of it. And that is why the requirement of initiation is there, because there's that commitment to that, grander purpose. Um, and honestly, because the Kabbalah, it's a full year. The actual Kabbalah Ascension program is a full year study. It starts in September. We go from September 2025 to September 2026. Um, it's a big commitment. It's a huge commitment for somebody. It's a huge outlay of energy. I want people to feel 1,000% supported, that they're making the right decision for them. So whether it's, you know, a recorded call like this, a conversation between us, whether it's a Zoom call, whether it's coming to in person to have your questions answered, to get a sense, to learn more, um, whatever is needed for you to make the best informed decision for you, for your life, for your spiritual progression. That's my only hope. That's my only goal. Um, it's always perfect. It's always if this resonates with you and you feel like you want to join us on the ascension journey, great. Um, and we'd love to meet you, love to share more. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
you.
So classes are Monday, June.
Monday, June, uh, Monday, June 16th and Monday, July 14th, 7 p.m. here at the Mystery School. June, we're going into organizing our minds. And
Yeah.
July, we're going into balancing emotions with the Tree of Life. So even if, hey, even if the full year journey isn't, something you want to do, come
Oh,
out
that
to
will
the
be
introduction.
valuable.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be valuable.
be
So
valuable.
good. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, bye now.